I'm going to show you the two-step process to go from nothing to a full-time trader in literally 2 steps. First of all, I'm going to teach you exactly my strategy and how I attack this. And then the second part is going to be how to actually do this mentally and the financial viewpoint and strategy as well, so you can scale up to make more money over time and hopefully get to that $15,000 a month, which I think is obtainable within 2 months if you follow the plan. So let's not waste any time. Let's get to work. So we're going to be breaking this down in a few different ways, right? We're going to be attacking this from the visual of, one, what do I need to be doing? Do I need to be trading stocks? Do I need to be trading futures? How do I attack that? Then I'm going to be going into strategy based, obviously going over the chart, how to look for levels, how to spot trends, and how to actually make money in the market. And then the last part I'm going to do is go over the back end of the mental viewpoint and then the financial viewpoint of it as well. So you're not YOLOing in before you are ready to reach that next step, those next goals, and kind of goals that I set for myself, and then how I'm positioning myself every day to continue that success. Because the most important thing isn't just getting success. Anyone can win occasionally, but not everybody can repeat that success. And having a repeatable process is the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to trading and succeeding in trading and investing. Now, on my Twitter, on YouTube, I've shown withdrawals from these as well, shown directly to my bank account, but I also will show you what's happening from people that are literally watching us in our Discord every single day, showing how we're trading as well. That link is down below if you're interested, but I do want to break down everything for free here as well, so you can see exactly what we're doing. But this goes into stocks, this goes into futures, everything across the board, because again, our focus is how to make money in the market as a whole. But sometimes going to stocks has to be the second overall viewpoint, because you don't have enough money and really you need to understand where your goals are at to trade in the market as well. Now, I think it's always important that we go over everything that we're going to cover in the video a little bit ahead of time. I also want to say, again, on top of this, like I've already said, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is exactly how I'm trading and how I'm making money in the market. Now, there are a lot of prop firms in the space. There's a lot of different brokers in the space for trading stocks, options, whatever it may be. This is just my personal experience and how I'm doing it and how I'm spending my money and investing it to make more money in the market. Now, if you're looking at day trading nonstop, you're looking at getting more aggressive in the market and scalping, I think futures are that metric to take. I think that just is superior right now. I do think options and stock investing is awesome, but that requires a larger initial investment. You need to have money to make money. Now, going into the prop firm space, if you are completely from zero, you've never traded anything, I recommend going to my other videos, educating yourself, then coming back to this one before you start just dumping money into the market. That just makes logical sense, or you're just going to waste your money, and I don't want you to do that. So the first thing that I want to discuss is how much money you need to get into trading and what you're going to be doing. Because again, we can look at charts, go along those lines, but we actually need to know what's obtainable and what's right for us. Because again, if I want to swing trade, I probably need more money. If I want to trade options, I need to have a little bit of money. Like it might be $300 per trade for me to get into, and that might not be obtainable for you because you don't want to risk all of your money in one trade. So again, that best barrier to entry to getting to that point for me, in my opinion, if I was starting over right now, would be futures, okay? Because again, you can trade ranges and you can make good money despite kind of having a little bit of a roadblock, right? Because you're able to scale along the ways. Now, in my previous video, I went over what was happening here. And I'm going to go more into detail about how these prop firms make money so you know both sides. And so you've seen prop firms out there. Now, this is top one. And I'm going to go into them in a second, but this is My Funded Futures. Now, My Funded Futures has been probably my top pick over the past few months. Now, I am shifting this a little bit because number one, most prop firms want you to buy in order for you to fail, redo, and then keep spending money, right? My Funded Futures, in my opinion, was geared for traders not to do that. It was geared toward them to have a path to success, make money, and then go live, right? That was the real goal there. Now, I still love My Funded Futures. I still think it's solid. I still it's still top 3 right there, right? If I was going with anything, starter plans, what I would do. All right, it's $100 per account, okay? Important to know. But in my opinion, top one kind of just changed and shook things up a little bit. So this is the one I was telling you about in my last video as well. So the way prop firms work is basically there's 3 sections, and it's very important to understand the path of what happens here, okay? So basically, this is you as a trader, right? You come into trading and you're right here, right? And this is the prop firm circle of life, or I guess the path, right? Let me draw it for you really quick. You start out, you're in a simulated account where you cannot make any money. No, you can't make any money. No. Nope. So it's an X. You can't make any money during this period. You prove yourself, you pass rules, and then you go to a sim funded. What does that mean? Are you actually trading real money? No, you are trading in a simulated account. However, if you go based upon the rules, the prop firm will pay you, right? So they're willing to basically take a bet on you as a trader. So you're able to make money, but it's still within their guidelines, right, of what their rules are, right? Important to understand. They're taking a risk. That's the risk to take, right? But it's very important to know most traders during this time period, right, and this overall space of going sim to sim funded end up blowing it and resetting over and over and over. And that's how prop firms make their money, right? But people say, well, prop firms are rigged for you to lose. In a way, I understand that's how they make their money. Yes. Now, on the other side of that, go look at other brokers. How do brokers and stocks make money? Basically getting in, I'm approached by sponsorships all the time for brokers, right? They want you to basically get on their options trade, take a bunch of contracts, make money off your option contracts, repeat the process over and over and over because they're making money off you on commissions, typically, right? 90% of the time, right? Or some other way or some other format. And that's what they want you to do. So for people to say, oh, prop firms are bad, this or that, no, the trader is the problem at the end of the day. Now, what happens is eventually you go to this next part, and I've talked a lot about this, of going live. So eventually, when you prove yourself and you make a certain amount of money, these prop firms are like, look, this guy's making too much money. You know what we need to do? We need to move him to a live account. He'll trade our real money, and then that's what we'll go from there. And then you can take payouts, and there's kind of not a lot of rules once you're in this territory here, right? You're just making money. You can withdraw every day. Just as long as you're making money, you pull money out whenever you want. And you're basically like a normal trader, the end, and you're set up with all the money that you've made back here. So people always ask me, well, what's this process? How do they make money? Top prop firms, do not get it twisted. Make money off of you failing. Now, I'm going to tell you how to pass. I'm going to tell you how to trade and how I trade every single day. And again, I catalog all this stuff every single day as well. And you would see people down below in the comments saying, he's lying, he's this, he's that, because they all know what I'm doing as well. And again, like I said, I catalog all this inside of Discord with what I'm doing, how I'm trading, all the charts I'm looking at, the key levels here on NASDAQ, how to react, all those things. And I'm going to share with that right now. So very important to understand that. So prop firms, in my opinion, are the way to go. Now, picking that prop firm. Now, if you want to go with a cheaper option, do the eval, and do that whole process, that's good with you. But top one, in my opinion, is letting you skip an entire step, right? We had that beginning step here, which was you're not able to make any money. You have that sim funded right here, and then you have your eventual live over here, right? Now, top one is saying, okay, for an extra amount of money, you can skip this right here and go straight to sim funded, right? Important to understand. Now, there's a few rules in there as well, but it's important to understand. And not only are they doing that, you're getting it with the discount. The link will be down below. You can use code HEFE for 50% off, and it's 50% off everything. So you can still go the other pass if you wanted to just do an eval. But it's important to realize here, I'm typically recommending a $50,000 account size, right? It's all based upon your drawdown and what you're allowed to do there. Now, top one has changed things. Typically, this account right here, if we go over to My Fund and Futures, you go to a top step, whoever you're using, that drawdown, if you go to Starter Plus, the 150K, it's always like $4,500. Top one changed it on their instant sim funded, right? It's $6,000. In my opinion, this is the best deal out there. This beats everyone out. Like, I'm just telling you right now. So I loaded up on 4 of these, but you can still go towards 50K, whatever you want. Like, don't feel pressured. But also, I'll say right now, start out small. Don't just jump the gun. Don't just start YOLOing. But this right here is literally the path, in my opinion. And how this is structured, it's basically 5 trading days because this is including all days, not just business days. So again, every 10 days you can request a withdrawal within a 20% consistency rule. You can break all that down as well. And I think those things I'll go into later of the video help you stay consistent. And we'll talk more about that in depth, about how that's going to help you, especially getting started and setting the foundation. Now, I will say, over time, if you start killing it here, start scaling into other prop firms as well. But I think right now to start out, again, just like My Fund and Futures, I think this is like the new standard in my opinion. Now, the thing that I almost forgot to mention here too is something that Top One's doing. Now, they use my favorite platform, which is Project X, right? Which everyone thinks it's just Top Step can use this. So this is the only platform that they're supporting right now on Top One, which I literally love because it's the best out there. So right now, when you open your account, they're actually going to give you a practice account, which Top Step wasn't doing. So I don't know, maybe they're doing it now, but I don't know anyone else that's doing this. So you can actually go in here and change and work around all your settings, figure out how to do this. You can search up NQ, go in your MNQ if you want to trade micros, whatever it may be, gold, etc. Just learn the platform for yourself, right? And again, there's no like risk here. This just shows you how to do it and what to be looking for. So really important to understand that. You can try this out, see all that goes into this as well before you jump into trading your actual account as well. So really cool. And there's a lot of hidden settings I'm going to show you at the last part of this video. If you want to skip ahead of that, you can. If you want to skip this trading strategy, but let's get into the next. So we know where we're going to be trading. We know which tools we're going to use to do our charting. We know how we're going to be doing that charting as well. We're going to go into the actual trading strategy now, because I think that's a focal point of what we need to do. I'm going to go more into the scaling, how to grow your accounts after this as well. But listen close, and if you have questions, comment down below. It's also worth mentioning on this channel, I have more videos breaking down each one of these subjects a little bit more in depth, but I'm going to kind of dive in depth here as well. Now, I typically want to go more into the mental part first, but I think I want to really dive deep into this. This might be a long video, to be honest, but we're going to dive into the strategy behind this as well. I have more in detail videos going over each specific thing here and how I break it down, the mental process as well. But I'm going to just jump through this as quickly as possible, but I want to really break it down like I said. Okay, so how I trade is based off of 3 key factors: key levels, indicators, and then in my opinion, let me check my notes as well. Yeah, your volume, which I don't consider an indicator, but it is an indicator. So however you want to go based upon that. So again, key levels, my indicators, and then volume. Very important to understand that, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you to put those on your chart, okay? Now, you can go into view, and I'll actually take them off really quick so you guys can see the exact process. By the way, if you join Discord, just to let you know, we have an indicator here that adds everything to your chart. So thank me later. Again, it goes right into, favorites right here, OD Essentials. You load it on. It loads up literally everything. It has a few other indicators as well that we kind of go into as well in Discord, but you don't need all those. You can go into it and literally address and do all those settings by yourself, but you can still get all these for free, right? I want to let you know that right now. That just creates all of it into one and customizes it for you like we like it, okay? So really quick, what we're going to do, we're going to add VWAP, and I'm going to show you, again, people get really worried about this, but it's very simple, right? And this is on TradingView. I do all my charting on TradingView, okay? So I'm going to go into VWAP. I'm going to double tap. I'm going to get rid of the upper band, right? Get rid of everything, the band fills. I just want just the VWAP line. That is it. I don't care about anything. I usually make the line a little bit thicker so you can see it more. Number 1. Number 2, again, I'm going to add volume. Now, this is really simple. So I go to volume. It's just normal volume right there. That's all it is. And I add it to the bottom. So I separate this from the chart so I can double click my chart so I can bring it up and down, because sometimes it's ugly. Like you can see, it might, if I want to take a picture for Twitter, it just might be ugly, or send a picture to someone. So I just double click and get rid of that. So my volume's there as well. Now my last one is more of a strategy / indicator, but the indicator helps me see it throughout the day. So this is your 15-minute ORB. You just go in here, go to ORB, type it in. And again, I'm using a different one for the sake of this video. I've used a few different ones, but you can go in and just do right here. This one, I believe, is what it is. Yeah, it's right there, your ORB, just right there by Get That Cash. There's multiple other ones you can use, and I have a video breaking down as well. This one actually creates price targets for you as well, so you can see. You can get rid of all that. If you really, what you want, just to let you know, is just what's happening here, right? Your opening range. And basically what it shows you is the high of your first 15 minutes and your low of your first 15 minutes, and you get a lot of good breakouts and continuation as well. This just draws it out. It's really helpful as well for you, so you guys can test it out. I can actually update my personal one of this one as well to give you guys more of a view. Now, let's break down all these things. Now, the first thing that I want to break down, obviously, is going to be key levels, so I'm going to get rid of everything off my chart. Now, when I'm working on charts, I work from a top-down approach. What does that mean? I start at high time frames and I work my way down. Now, when I'm entering trades, it's typically off of a 1-minute or a 5-minute viewpoint. But how I'm finding my supports, my resistances, everything along those key levels, right? I'm finding those on high time frames. I do not look for those on small time frames, okay? So what I do is I go down to the day or up to the daily, and I'm looking for major pivot points. Now, right now, the NASDAQ is getting a monster break, okay? This is important to understand. So what I'm doing is mainly marking out swing highs and swing lows, and I can go more in detail with this with our last video and previous videos. You can go look at all that. But again, you're just going to quickly spot these out. You can go to your weekly as well, but I'm just using the daily for time's sake here of what I'm really looking for. And I'm really only trying to spot levels around where I'm at. I can go further out if I want, but this is going to be the most helpful because again, this is where we're at. I don't need to do too much work outside of the places of where we are right now. So again, I'm just marking out all these little pivot highs and pivot lows, and then I'll address this from there as well. So really quickly, that's where we're at right now. Now, as we zoom back in, the 15-minute, we'll go like to the 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever you're looking at there. I want to make sure I'm also marking out previous day levels as well. So what do I mean by that? I'm looking at previous day closes, lows, highs, etc. Right? So what I'm looking at, and this goes a little bit further back, but you can quickly just see what we're looking at. All of our stair steps to the downside, as you can see, of how we're playing out and how this has really been working as well. So a few things that we can identify here already is that we're already spotting and finding buyers and sellers at these levels as well. This is going to help us find targets and know when to get in, when to get out as we're trading throughout the day, right? Very simple understanding. Now, again, I always mark these out before I do anything. It's the first thing I do every morning. So market opens for me at 8:30. Right here, I mark it every morning in Discord at 8 o'clock. Just to give you guys a viewpoint, I map out what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a push either back into that key level and then a rejection back down, or losing that support and then breaking down to our next level. It's literally all just like reading a story, right? You have where you're wanting to go, how you're expecting us to go from there, and then flipping the page and going towards your next level, your next page, your next part of the story, right? That's what I'm doing. Again, it seems super simple. Again, I recommend just back testing, trying it out for yourself, seeing the results. Because again, you're going from a top-down approach. And again, you might start and find a bunch of levels on higher time frames, but the smaller you go down, you're going to realize you can make a lot of money. And what's really important to realize, if you're trading one mini contract, every $10 on the NASDAQ, to give you like a visual, is going to be $200, right? So very important to understand that also. Now, this is how you are, how you're moving, etc. So you can see. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'm going to bring up our VWAP so you can see that as well. So the VWAP is going to also help us. Now, VWAP shows us a lot of the intraday trend of what is happening there. Now, today we're getting a lot of volatility. But when we see here, we opened up the day right about here. Let me mark out where we opened up. 8:30 a.m. market open for New York was right about here, okay? And you can see all day long, we sat below VWAP, and we actually had a perfect test right there. So under VWAP, in my opinion, we're bearish intraday. Above it, you're looking more bullish. When you're ranging back and forth through it, not respecting it, that's typically a chop day, and you want to trade the least amount as possible during those days, because I think you have the most risk there as well. So we understand that. VWAP, you're not going to get 1,000 entries a day. You're going to get one or two typically good entries, or you're going to see the trend flipping, getting back above that level. But as we've been so bearish the past 2 days, look at how we've just trended at the VWAP, sell point, sell point, sell point. And then you also link these up with your key levels, and you can see perfect entries, really giving you that sell side to make all the money back to the downside as well. So again, it all just stacks in, lines up together with everything you should be watching and how you're, again, telling and reading that story throughout the day. Then the last thing we have there too is the 15-minute opening range, right? So we go into there and you can see. So this is a really interesting part. We're going to go to the 5-minute, right? So what we can see here going into the opening range, market opens up here. We quickly establish our high and then our low down here, right? Now what gets interesting is you start breaking below. So you start getting bearish, you retest that 15-minute opening range, the low of it, and then you never get back into that level for the remainder of the day, and you make lower highs and lower lows, confirming the bearish trend. Again, some of these indicators aren't going to give you a bunch of entry signals, but they're going to give you high quality entry signals. So sometimes in futures, you only need to take 1 or 2 trades a day and you're done. Sometimes it's just one trade. You might hit the mother load, right? You might be like, oh, I should have held out longer. But again, it's about having that plan, knowing what your targets are, and again, working based off that. This is the simplest way that I could format this for everyone. So again, hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it's clear. If you have any more questions, let me know specifically on this, and I can redirect you to other videos around the strategy as well. But again, very important to understand. And then going from that, again, you go back into, again, you have your practice account, which Top One gives you, which I don't know anyone else that's doing this for their traders as well. Not saying that no one does, but they give you a platform to trade with. So you can actually go in here and go into all your settings, make all your stuff, do practice on the platform as well. And we're going to get into the settings here with the risk that change kind of everything. Now, this part of the video is going to be a little bit more tricky because, again, the mental side of it, everyone's going to be different. Some people are going to have different struggles. Some people are going to think about the market differently. And some people may not have any of that emotional sense whatsoever. But then the other side of this as well is the financial viewpoint of how to slowly scale, how to reach targets, how to set goals that are not only long-term, but also short-term attainable goals and why they are so important. And then also how the platform kind of ties into this, because I think it forces you to have a more rational sense of how you're trading and not rely on luck and not rely on one big day or one big trade. Let's get to it. Okay, so now this is one of the coolest parts of what we're able to do here. And typically I'm not able to go into this and show you guys the, the mentality, how to manage risk, et cetera, because everyone is different. I'm going to tell you that right now. But what they've done here with Project X, and again, this is on your practice account, so you can go learn this all by yourself and go tinker with it, right? Number one, you can go to right here on the far left, you can see this is your performance. It shows you all your trades, your profit factor, your biggest wins, everything like that, right? This is on you can do this on your main account too. But what gets crazier is you can go down to settings, and this is where things get cool. So number one, you can go into copy trading and copy other accounts. So you see there, these are my other accounts I have. Then you can go into risk settings, and you can go into actually setting risk for every trade. So if I want to have clear risk reward, so let's say I want to risk, $600, or let's say I want to risk, $500, and I'm looking to make $750 per trade, right? That's just my baseline of what I'm looking at every single time I enter a trade, okay? Number one, I can save that. Then I can actually set personal profit targets. So let's say I make, $750 in a day. I can automatically lock myself out of my account so I can't be FOMO'd into doing something that's stupid, right? I can set a loss limit here too. Let's say my loss limit is, $550 for a day, right? That's it. I can do that. Set that as well, right? Boom, save that. So I'll automatically lock out of my account if those things hit on there, right? I can go into the charts and data. I can go and change anything that I want in here as well. But these are the risk settings change everything for you, okay? Very important to know. So that way, remember I said I want to make 750 and then my risk is 500, right? So let's say that I want to just hypothetically go short here, right? Not saying it's a great trade. It'll automatically set that. But let's say that, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Actually, I think this trade might take a turn. I want to actually lower my stops a little bit as well. And I want to actually grab my target and move it down a little bit as well. Not saying you should, but you can also do that as well. And then you can go in here and do more as well. You can buy more market. And so my stop loss might hit here, but you can see it does all that easily for you. And again, these other platforms make this stuff really difficult for you in comparison. And that's kind of just like the tip of the iceberg for this. But again, it logs all of your stats here immediately as well for you. So you can go back, look at them, go back over your notes in your journaling. Because again, the biggest part of the mental aspect of this is going back and journaling so you know what you did wrong, what you did right, how you can improve in the future. It's important to know that. Now, the other part here too is, like I said, the financial part. I don't think people should be buying max accounts immediately. What does that mean? I shouldn't be buying 3 accounts off rip. I shouldn't do that, especially if I have no experience. Now, if you have experience, you've made money in prop firms, then I think this is like a deal. So if the deal goes away, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to miss the deal. But if you have no experience, one account, guys, make money on your first account and then go into your second, your third, and everywhere from that point. So important to understand that. Or go 1 straight to funded and then go, maybe 2 on the evals, right? Just so you're risking less money. And I don't think people understand. If you go all in too quick, you might, risk more than you really need to. And then it might stop you from moving forward, right? But if you do this in the beginning, you take an L or something, right? You can still come back. You're still not over leveraged, right? It's important to know. And again, lined up with your drawdown, it sets you in a really good position for success. That's how I'm approaching this. That's how I'm looking at this. But I'm going to tell you right now, guys, any money you make, it is not money made until it is in your bank account. It is all pretend. It is all games. It is all gambling until it is in your bank account. I want you to remember that above everything else here on the channel. If you guys have any questions, hopefully this was a complete breakdown. I'm really excited about this. If you guys have questions, comment down below. Another workshop also is going to be happening on Sunday, going over futures, our strategy, things like that as well. If you have questions, we'll be in there also. All those links are down below. Have a good weekend. Have a good trading. Best of luck. I'll see you on the other side.